Hello all you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend Britik coming at you fast with another Britik's Build video, and today we are going to be looking at Sparrow. I love this bitch, Sparrow. She is pretty awesome. She's my favorite ranger to play. Now, I don't main rangers, okay? I feel like I gotta say this because, you do any little thing incorrectly and YouTube is just gonna kill you for it. I am not a ranger main, okay? I main junglers. I feel very, very comfortable with my jungler heroes and fighter heroes in general, like Steel, as you guys can tell by the master right there. But I have played Sparrow quite a bit, and she has been my go-to ranger as of late up here in this, skill gap of mine, I like to say, because still there's no like set rank in the game, so I can't really say, diamond or whatever, but according to Fury and according to Agora, I'm in the top 1%, and this is just the deck that I want to share with you guys that's been working for me. Alright, Katniss's mom, even though I'm pretty sure she's too young to be her mom, but it doesn't fucking matter, that's just the name of the deck. Alright, live with it, deal with it, hashtag deal with it, but we're going to be going over her build because a lot of people have been requesting this build, and my Sparrow deck is pretty outdated. That was before lifesteal was nerfed, and so we're gonna go over my new Sparrow deck, and maybe I might do a Murdoch deck in the future, but I just don't play Murdoch much, so I don't want to give you guys a deck that hasn't really been tested and true. Obviously, I don't want to give you guys something that's bad because I always try my best for you guys. So let's get into this deck. Now, ever since the update, I have stopped building lifesteal on my rangers, and I just build health and armor, just a little bit, but enough to give more sustainability. So for our prime card, we're going to have the Warlord. Obviously, you want more damage out of your prime cards. I just realized that it gives only 65 now. Huh. I guess it did ever since the damage and the attack speed nerf, but still, I just realized that it's 65 now, not 76. Okay, well, I mean, you still want the Warlord. Okay, this gives you bonus damage, of course, when you activate Aura Prime. And you're going to start off with your health potion, and you're going to start off with 2 strike tokens. Okay, again, this is a build for higher ranked players. Technically, this is a build for people who have been playing the game for a while, so hopefully you have 2 strike tokens by now. It's just a really, really easy way to start off. Just having 13 extra points of physical damage right off the bat helps a lot with last hitting minions, especially when rangers haven't scaled too much damage-wise yet. So it's really nice. And then, of course, the health pot for sustainability in lane, so you can get to level 5 before you have to recall. The first thing I like to build, of course, is ward. Always build your wards first. Now, usually I would go with a Guardian's ward. Again, I don't have a Guardian's ward because the game fucking hates me. I don't know why. So I'm using the Brawler's ward instead. If you have a Guardian's ward, use that. It gives you health instead of mana, which I'd recommend having health over mana on a ranger. And we're going to slot this with 3 minor strikes. As you guys can see here, I used all 3 of mine that I currently possess. So we're going to slot this with 3 minor strikes, and that's going to be our first card. Nice, quick, get our full upgrade bonus. This is going to increase our physical damage a lot for the beginning, so we have an easy time last hitting, and so we have a decent time, dealing damage. Now, the second thing that we're going to slot into is the Windcarver blade, and we're actually going to go ahead and slot in 1 strike. Okay, we're going to go with 1 strike usually in this blade, and then 2 kinetics. Alright, I like to mix it up a little bit. You can go 3 kinetics if you'd like, but I like having a bit more damage in the beginning just because, it really helps out a lot. So I like to go 1 strike and then 2 kinetics into this Windcarver blade. Okay, I'll put in the other strikes into other places later, you guys will see. But again, this is going to be our second damaging item that we build. We're going to put in 1 strike and 2 kinetics. Okay. Again, the description for this build obviously is going to be in the description and in the order and what upgrades you put in there. So if you get lost, just go into the description of this video and you guys can check that out for yourselves. Okay, now the third item that we're going to build is going to be one of our first resistance items. Okay, now this is going to depend on how much of the type of damage the enemy has. If they have more physical damage than energy damage, go with Spiked Boneplate first. If they have more energy damage, then go with Thorned Greenweave first, and then build in a Spiked Boneplate. So we're going to build these in a very interesting manner. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 minor guard, 1 greater guard, and then a strike. Alright, now you can do it a different way. You can go ahead and put in 2 guards and a strike, if that makes it easier for you. I just have it like that. There's no real reason why, to be honest. There's really no real reason as to why. it still adds up to 6 points of upgrades, and that's all that matters. It's still the same thing. 44 plus 44 is 88. 22 plus 66 is 88. It doesn't matter. That's just the way I've ended up doing it. So I have one minor guard, a greater guard, and a strike. You can have 2 guards and a strike. It'll be the same exact thing. Whatever's easier for you. I think I did that because I just didn't have enough guards or something. I don't remember. Maybe it was an older version of the deck, but I just got used to it at this point. And again, same thing for Thorned Greenweave. We're going to go 1 minor barrier, 1 greater barrier, and then, have a strike in there. I think the reason I do this, actually, now that I think about it, guys, is the reason I do this is because you get it in threes, right? You get the points in threes. I think what I end up doing is I end up going with the minor guard and then the strike, using the first 3 points, and then the second time I get, the next time I get 3 more card points when I level that up, I put in 1 greater guard. I think that's what it is. I think I start off with a minor guard and strike, and then I go in a greater guard, or I just start off with the greater guard. It really doesn't matter. It just depends on the situation. Again, that's why I don't really remember the exact order, because I switch it up a lot, depending on whether I want more damage right away, whether I want more resistance right away. But that's kind of why I do the math that way, because if you break it up into 2-2-2, you're usually left with 1 unspent point kind of lying around somewhere, and that's not too good sometimes, especially when you could use a little bit extra damage. So that's why I have it broken up like that. That makes more sense, okay? So there's that. And then what we're going to end up doing after we build our 2 resistance items is we're going to go into Amulet of the Veteran, and we're going to slot this with 3 regular healths, okay? So we're going to slot this with 3 regular healths. And that's going to give us our health now, and we should have 100 initially from this, 200 from the full upgrade bonus, and 600 from the upgrade, so we'll have 900 health from this, and if you have a Guardian's Ward, you'll get another 100 health from that, so you should have a total of 1,000 health bonus on top of your starting health, which, of course, is a really good amount, and it'll help you in staying alive longer. Now, the 6th item, now this is where it kind of gets tricky. Again, this is the more advanced deck, and this is why you guys kind of need to pay attention now. So if you've been following along really well, you'd notice that we have 5 cards right now. We have slots for 1 more card, obviously, after getting rid of our health pots and our strike tokens in the beginning. That goes without saying. And this is where it depends. Now, if you feel like you need a bit more damage, and you feel like you haven't really been dying too much, or your supports are really good at peeling for you, or, you've just been having a good time staying alive, you don't really need to add on to your resistance as of right now, you can go ahead and build your 6th item first, and give yourself a Windcarver blade, and stock 3 major strikes up in here, okay, if you would like to, alright? Now, if you don't want to do that, then you can do something else. Now, usually I will go 3 major strikes into this. If as the 6th card, of course, you always want to have that Windcarver there. Now, if you feel like you don't, and actually, I don't even know why I have the 3rd Windcarver in here. I don't know what that's doing there, to be honest. I really don't. Maybe when we'll do the math, I'll remind myself. But for some reason, I feel like I don't need this. But anyway, if you feel like you need more resistance, this is where you'll start substituting your Thorned Greenweave and your Spiked Boneplate for the more upgraded version now. And the second version that you will replace your initial Spiked Boneplate with, this one will now have 2 greater guards and 1 major strike. Okay, instead of our initial minor guard, greater guard, and strike, now we're going to have 2 greater guards, which is going to give us 132, I do believe, 132 physical armor, and then, of course, on top of that, 22, so 144 physical armor, which is going to be really, really good. And then, of course, a major strike instead of a regular strike. It's going to give us a bit more damage. And the same thing, then we're going to replace our first Thorned Greenweave with a second Thorned Greenweave that has 2 greater barriers and 1 major strike. Okay, so that's where the replacement factor comes in, and then you should be good. Let's go ahead and do some math real quick. Maybe I messed up on my math somewhere. Maybe that's why I have a 3rd Windcarver blade in there, because I don't even remember this, guys, because at a certain point it just becomes muscle memory when you build the way you build. So let's just go through this together, all right? So Brawler's Ward, with all the upgrades included, is going to be 6 points. Our final Amulet of the Veteran is going to be 9 points, so that's 15 total, 27, 39, and then we have the 48 from our first Windcarver blade, and then we have 60 from our second Windcarver blade. So again, I actually have no idea why the fuck I had the 3rd Windcarver blade in there. I really didn't need it. And there you guys have it. There's the deck for you right there. So I know it's a bit confusing. It involves substitutions. That's usually how these higher tier decks end up being, because you never want to waste, in the early game you want to get those upgrade bonuses as quick as possible, but then late game they fall off because you have lesser upgrades, so then you have to switch it out a lot. And that's why it works that way. So hopefully it wasn't too confusing, guys. Again, quick rundown. You go Brawler's Ward, upgraded with 3 Minor Strikes. Then you go Windcarver Blade, you upgraded with 2 Kinetics and 1 Strike. Okay, and then you go with your Spiked Boneplate, and you go your Minor Guard, Greater Guard Strike. Your Thorned Greenweave with your Minor Barrier, Greater Barrier Strike. And then you go your Amulet of the Veteran with the 3 healths. You go your Windcarver Blade, your second one now, with the 3 major strikes. And then you replace your Spiked Boneplate and your Thorned Greenweaves, both with 2 major guards and 1 major strike, 2 major barriers, 1 major strike. And that's how that works. Now, I do have some extra, upgrade slots in there, just lying around wherever, just in case I feel like I need to get some extra stuff in there. But normally, you wouldn't really need that. I think the reason I had the 3rd Windcarver Blade is because I got a little bit too switch happy, to be honest, and I think I wanted more damage before I replaced it with the 3 major strikes Windcarver Blade, but you really don't need it. You honestly don't. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a shortcut. But there we have it. Let's make this deck complete real quick. Let's just put in a fucking Harvester Key. Why not, right? Actually, let's do an extra strike token. There. Boom. There you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this deck helps you guys out. Let me know how it treats you. Let me know what kind of decks you guys have for Sparrow, because again, I'm not the best ranger in the world. So, I mean, if this deck isn't really that good, I'm sorry, but it works for me. Okay? So, lay off. I know some people like to build their Sparrows with a bit more attack speed, so if that's you, then put in 3 Kinetics instead of 2 Kinetics and a Strike into that first Windcarver Blade we talked about, and that should be plenty attack speed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. As always, make sure y'all have a wonderful day.